Hi guys, it's 6:30 a.m., which is terrible because I'm not getting proper sleep. However, there's a really big update content patch that just came out, and that's aside from, the balance patch, which everyone already knows. But let's just get into it really quickly. There's a lot to go through. Let's get started. First and foremost, if you didn't see, there's like a little patch notes preview, which is fine, but you can go look at that. I'm just going to skim through a bit of like the hero balance adjustments because if you didn't know, like I've made a few videos, infographics about a lot of the characters. Long story short, I feel like ML Ken and, like Cannaaaa are obviously the showcases and they're pretty cool. Bihu also shows up. He's great. Elagos, maybe usable, but kind of niche. He basically got buffed, so now he doesn't immediately die to characters like Ran and Peyra. A lot of these characters you'll see, or I should say, a lot of these characters you'll see showcases from me in a couple days anyway, so it is what it is. But I also did a bit of like a balance patch preview in one of my prior videos, so if you want, you can check out that. Moon Bunny, I apologize, how could I forget the actual winner of the balance patch, which is Moon Bunny Dominielle. Like, she basically counters most extra turn characters, except for Sid if you decide to run Flitic. Too much talking. A mid and Moon Bunny, that's like a pretty surefire counter matchup though, so, great there. I'm excited to try Crescent Moon Rin because Crescent Moon Rin now kind of looks like Peyra, but for C damage, and we'll see how that works out. She doesn't give Aureus, so she is definitely more aggressive. She's not some like do it all in one character like Peyra is. And then Kawazu and I believe Pillis seem kind of extra to be buffed. I mean, they increased like the, I think the detonation damage of his S3 or like the healing, something to that effect, but he's already killing, guys, and he's already kind of healing. It is what it is. Pillis is nice healing, and okay, realistically, if by this point you haven't looked at the patch notes video, you should probably go to that. But we've seen all this. Let's get to the things that we're kind of excited for. First thing that we've seen is week 3 of the new like TFT side story mode. So let's just take a look at this. We add more rewards, story stages, or whatever. Oh, so they added Navy Captain Landy and Pirate Captain Flan. I don't know if anyone's been playing Brawl. I don't know if you guys are enjoying it or not, but like Brawl is one of the more enjoyable things that we have to do right now in EpicSeven. Nowadays, it's like do your arena, do your guild war, and obviously play RTA every day. But in general, we haven't really had a new PvE game mode that you can kind of sink your fangs or sink your time into, and this is pretty good because now you have stuff like you care about like the meta of this, and you have stuff like, oh, Azera's too strong or Rengar's too weak, or oh, can I like get a bunch of income with this, or oh, is this synergy better than the other? And it just feels like something nice to invest my time into, my brain, like what little brain cells I have left, into like this new concept. So I like it. I've been enjoying it. It's nice that they're still improving and they're adding stuff to this, kind of like they do with draft mode. I hope and pray that it's permanent because this is really a nice like break from only PvP focused content, and sometimes it's nice to play TFT if you don't know what TFT is. This is basically what it's based off of. There's another side story which looks like this doesn't look like it's a rerun. Oh. Okay, so this is like another one of these like more this is one of like Smogate's like new trends that they have now. It's like you have to do like a right choice in dialogue, and if you don't, like you're weak, or if you don't get like some special thing in the story, you can't clear the stage. I don't really know if that's creative enough or original enough, or it makes me want to do the side story per se, but it is different. And considering we just had Brawl, it's okay for this to happen. Like, honestly, we didn't have to do any like bullshit skip through dialogue 1,000 times kind of side story recently, so I don't really care. That being said, this is not super appealing to me, because all it is now is that like I click through and I look up and I ask someone like, hey, what dialogue do I have to press? And like, oh, well, the guy dies in 2 seconds. All right, whatever. That being said, everything else looks pretty normal. It is really nice, I figured, because of, where it said the bonus here, like the little increase in hands. Yeah, Natalon Monk was originally the character that was advertised or was shown on Seal of Capture, which is currently one of like the best in slot artifacts for Bihu, and it probably made sense that we would have an actual rerun of the artifact with Natalon Monk, which is like I think her name is Nahkwol, something to that effect, which is really cool. I hope to see her later in this video too. But pretty casual. We're just getting rewards and all that stuff. Like, sorry, we just scroll through it pretty quickly. Another album side story. This is nice for free stuff. That's a 70. all right, I'm not gonna like Nahkwol. I see Nahkwol at the very bottom here, so I'm not gonna like rant for too long. But just to be clear, why are we being given 78 pieces of gear? I thought that we were on a pretty good trend of, hey, if if you're starting the game or if we get new side stories, we get 88 pieces and everything rolls, like, even if it's kind of shit, it rolls like 8, 5, like 7, 7 or something like that, like max rolls. And maybe you can't roll like fully reforged, like it's a fully reforged 90 piece, but at least it was fine because we have like an 88 piece. But I don't understand like what the value in giving a 78 piece of gear as opposed to an 88 gear is. And I'm not gonna like rant for too long, but they already gave us 88. So like, what is the idea that like we've been given too much 88 gear? Like, do we want new players to suffer because we're not giving them free speed gear? Or like, like, oh, is having an 88 piece of gear too? Like, I don't understand, Smallgate. Like, make it make sense. Like, this one piece of 88 side story gear to players that actually need it, like newer players or what are like mid-game players that need more gear, etc., are not going to like suddenly break the game's balance because you gave us more free gear. Like, we're not suddenly going to stop farming for more gear if you give us an 88 piece of gear. Like, Jesus, what? Anyways, that's besides the point. Moving along, we have Nahkwol. She looks so good, by the way. Like, I don't know if you guys saw like the edit on Reddit about like her splash art. If you know, you know. But like, holy shit, this character is probably the hottest character we've gotten since. Okay, well, we've gotten a lot of hot characters recently, so not in a long time. But she is a Fire Ranger. We did see a bit of like we saw like her artifact being leaked earlier. She's a Capricorn Ranger. I'm not really sure who else is a Capricorn Ranger, but obviously she's fire. Okay, her skill 1 is that she attacks the enemy with a brush with a 60% chance of silence. After attacking, if the target is inflicted with silence, decrease CR by 20. I think at max, this is a 75% chance. We don't know if this is going to do damage, but I mean, self CR debuff on S1 sounds pretty good. Sounds a little bit weak to Ed because, as you know, this Ed character loves to punish characters that have, no damage debuffs on S1 like Faithless Lidica and, Briar Witch Iseria, but maybe that doesn't have anything to do with it. Hopefully she has some way to deal with it, or deal with Ed. Seals the enemy for 2 turns before attacking and increases the speed of the caster for 2 turns. Well, guys, we finally found a character that completely counters Ed because she seals the character before she attacks. So there you go. Now she deals with characters like Designer Lilibit. She deals with characters like I don't know, anyone in the game, assuming you have enough effectiveness to debuff them. But characters like Dilibit and Ed are not going to suddenly build 200, 300 effect resistance because that makes no fucking sense. That alone, I think, is already kind of crazy. This is seal on command, unlike Archdemon Mercedes, where, you have to spend souls or something like that, or you have to, like, wait. It is a 5-turn cooldown, which is kind of long, but I like the speed buff to self. But now for a skill 3, attacks all enemies with powerful spell, dispelling all buffs before inflicting bind for 2 turns, and increasing skill cooldowns by 1 turn. Bind... Wait, grants an extra turn to the caster, so we're going to use S3 first. Bind when it is not the bearer's turn. They did it! They finally countered characters like Celine. They countered characters like Sage, or maybe not Sage 12, but any character that wants to counter has like a special effect. Unless if I'm reading this wrong, this just means that you cast a skill on someone like Politis or Celine, or you activate this basically on, or you put this on someone like Aiden, and it looks like you have to hit the character, so maybe not Aiden, like now that I look at it. You can seal Aiden, which is, effectively the same thing, but it looks like you can force one character to not act at all and reset them. And then you seal the other character and you speed yourself and you can silence, like maybe with your skill 1. This looks like a stupid amount of utility for a character. I apologize, guys. I'm a little baffled because they basically said, hey, guys, the current meta for E7 is how you're going to deal with debuffers is like we have cleanses, or we have like focus mechanics to like make sure no one gets debuffed. We get cleanse. We can remove all debuffs, or we have effect resist in order to resist it. But now we have a soul burn ignore, unable to react, like reset character on skill 1. It dispels all buffs, by the way. and resets you by 1 turn, and you can't act when it's not your turn, and it gives an extra turn, and then you also get to seal someone else, assuming you have effectiveness, and you give yourself speed for 2 turns. Okay, guys. Like, all right, they basically power crept the game, and she is giga hot, so like, what can you do? This has to be a character that, like, if you want to sell, obviously has to do something really fucking crazy, and there you have it. That's Natalon Monk. Oh, sorry, I apologize. I had a little bit of like a Microsoft sound, but like this is probably going to be a Lua tier debuffer. There is no way in hell you can reset someone, make them unable to take a turn. Like, you can reset Ed, or you can reset and bind Ed. You can reset Sage Ball. You can restrict anyone from like. Maybe Sage Ball takes the turn, but if you reset him, he doesn't get to push up, right? So like, and it's Soulburn and Ignore ER to both effects, so this is gonna probably be one of the best characters in the game, like, tied with Lua, because there's no one else that does like the speed increase, the reset, like two like, or like a significant debuff to the whole team, reset, bind. Like, I don't know how much more I can sit on this, but that's fucking crazy. We saw a bit of this, and I was previewing it on my stream. This artifact is fucking ridiculous for Faithless Litica. If you don't use this on Faithless Litica, unless if they say, like, I don't believe they said it. I believe it affects anyone AoE or single target. This is going to be arguably the most broken artifact for Faithless Litica. If you're running like an opener Faithless Litica, or like a fast, opener kind of character, there's nothing else to say about it. A 50% chance to death break if you have effectiveness on Faithless Litica and you death break Karina, the game's over. Like, that's kind of it. That's, hey, like, sealed, wrap, and shut. Like, this is obviously going to be a bit more of a niche artifact, or I don't know if I would necessarily call it niche, but it's going to be a little tougher to justify picking, because you are obviously fighting against Guiding Light and other, other artifacts like that, and, Syria, Summertime Iseria's artifact, etc., etc. But this shit is pretty fucking crazy, in all honesty. We already had, why can't I remember it? The Elfelt's artifact, the Miss Confiles, which is really, really good for PvE and stuff, but one of the main arguments against using Confile is that, look, ultimately you don't... Sorry. One of the main arguments about using Miss Confile is it's single target, and, like, even the effect is low, but having a 60% chance to land 1 debuff on 1 character is kind of shit, as opposed to 4 chances to activate a 50% debuff. Now, I don't believe Natalon Monk is limited, so if you do happen to get this artifact and you can, like, skill it up, kind of similar to Spirit's Breath or stuff like that, this is probably going to be a mainstay artifact. Definitely for PvE, if you're using any character that's, AoE, like maybe like, I don't know, Ian or something like that, will probably use this artifact over, Miss Confile, because fuck that artifact, it's limited. And this one isn't. However, 50%, even in PvE, AoE, the odds of, I know it's multiplicative, it's not 200% chance to land, but like 4 chances of 50% to death break, that is not a joke. That is a seriously game-changing fucking artifact, especially if you're able to outspeed people, right? So, that being said, let's move along. We have the rate up for when it's coming. So the drop rate is coming on 10/12. Yeah, or no, sorry, wait, sorry. It's coming to 9/27, and it ends on 10/12 Thursday. Okay, that's cool. So it's coming up this week, or in a day, I think. So, like, it is what it is. There's a new Epic Pass in... Okay, okay, I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. I get it. Sinful Angelica. Like, the skin looks nice. Not saying the skin doesn't look nice. If I had to, like, bet $1 million on what skin we get next, I would not have predicted Sinful Angelica. I feel like there's plenty of characters that people probably would have wanted. I honestly would have expected an Angel of Light skin before her, or, I don't know, other characters like Sid, something stupid like that. Maybe not Sid, but you get what I mean. Like, Sinful Angelica is a bit of a weird one. People use her on occasion for Wyvern, I guess, in the one shot, but I don't know. It looks nice regardless. If you guys didn't know, just a bit of a heads up, these epic passes are always worth it if you can get it. Now, whether or not you want to buy the skin or not is up to you, but it's a skin, and if you don't want to have to pay skin tickets, which are fucking illegally expensive to get outside of, epic passes, purchase this. And moving along, we have, okay, it's just explaining to you how to get it. The premium pass, like, it's in-game currency, guys. Like, I promise you, like, the 900 The 900 Skystones will not kill you. It's 1 week of arena. I would purchase this if you can. The rewards are terrific. As you can see, all the ancient coins, etc., etc. There's a new cast board, so there's a new season of, or there's like additional Moonlight Theater. This is great because obviously we get like more tickets and we can go see it, and it's free mystics. Do this if you haven't, guys, so you can get more characters. I really don't like. Oh, sorry. They just added the side story. Oh, thank God. I thought we had to do another side story. Jesus Christ. That's fine. We have things and the rewards. I mean, the Flame Fox is kind of cute if you want to get this pet. I mean, I'm a bit of a pet collector myself. I keep all the limited ones. If you want to get this, that's fine. This artifact sucks balls. Illustrations are cool. I like illustrations. I've been enjoying a lot of illustrations recently, especially like going through it. I kind of didn't expect to enjoy it as much until I kind of saw it on my lobby in the background. The coin shop for this upcoming rotation is Payra, Hua, and Vivian. That's kind of interesting. I'm curious. Hua is probably not getting changed, guys, in all seriousness. However, Payra is really good, and if you want, you know, Vivian imprints, or if you want, like, Vivian herself, which makes no sense because you should have gotten it, you can buy her. That being said, this coin shop is really not worth it for most players. If you can get Payra with the coin shop, do it. You know, obviously, she's a great character, especially if you're not willing to wait for the side story, you don't want to pull, you have extra coins, you have 1 billion coins or something. Payra is definitely not one of the worst off characters to get. She's great in PvP, very niche in PvE. I'd probably not use Payra in PvE, but it's, you know, she's great. And then we have the Galaxy Moonlight coin shop, which is Briar, Blood Moon Haste, and Violet. Okay, one of these is not like the other. Remnant Violet, obviously a god of the game. He'll piss you off. However, you're probably gonna have some of the most fun you'll ever have in EpicSeven playing this character. I would take him probably if you get him. Briar Witch Iceria 2, the answer to the god above you, and pretty much the answer to any character that revives, has evasion built into their kit. Both of these characters are essentially, like, if you had them on a banner, I wouldn't call them must pull. But they're so prevalent nowadays, like Remnant Violet for dealing against characters like Lionheart Sermia, assuming he doesn't get hit, which maybe you don't agree with. But then you have characters like Briar Witch Iceria that are mandatory into characters like Destina, Aiden, etc., etc. Both these characters are good, and I'll pretend there's not a third character here because who the fuck is that character? And other adjustments and improvement, we have another pack, and that's okay. It's a whale pack, guys. I don't really know if it's worth looking over, but charms are nice, and I fucking hate how much it costs. This better be like 25 bucks because this pack actually kind of looks like ass. I guess it's like 3,000 crafting material selection, but you know what I mean. Okay, anyways, and then we have, oh, they added more characters. So again, kind of like what I was saying about Brawl, this is so good. It is so nice that they're continuing to add stuff to draft mode, because draft mode seriously is a nice way for newer players to see how the game works, for them to get their feet wet. And Infinite Horizon and Arcades recently came out. Same thing with Veronica. These are great characters. And they added Urban Shadow Shu, Brieg, Midnight Gala, Lilius, Nahkwol. Like, if you don't have these characters or don't have them built, you don't have to, feel the FOMO of not having the characters. You can try them out in draft mode, like see how good they are. Are they worth it? Are they not? Do you not like them? Do you like them? Do you think that you'd be able to use them in the composition that you have? Do you have the characters in draft mode, etc., etc.? See how they are for you. Don't just look at the previews. Don't just see what other streamers, including myself, say about the characters. Make your own informed decisions. You could try draft mode and see how they are. Hopefully they're not fucking dog shit though, And then, okay, purchased a new category. Okay, wait. A new category will be added. This option will be available in the purchase, accessible when tapping the... Okay, I don't know if this means we can buy more compasses. If it does, holy shit, finally, because I'm in like this really weird limbo where I have like 15 of like the extra currency, but I can't go back into the labyrinth to buy a second piece for the month, even though I already bought my first one, because I only have one of the bug charms. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that, by the way. I don't know why it's so annoying. Like, I get it. They want you to log on every day, but like, surely there's a better way to do this system. Like, the number gets mixed up, and if you don't have like a perfect amount every month, you can't go back in to get like an extra piece. Like, what is going on? And I have to remember every 3 days to access the... Wait, what are we doing, guys? Like, dude, is this really necessary? Like, I know it's not that big a deal, but like, what? Just give us the fucking bug charms. Like, what is this conversion shit? Like an extra thing for fun. Auto select function for storage sounds pretty good. Honestly, any improvements to storage in general are really good. I'm happy with this. Like they have some like other changes, and I know like I may not really care too much about this. Like let's see, dark screen, unnecessary UI, blank space. Okay, yeah, like obviously like this other page or like this other section is stuff that gets like overlooked because it doesn't have the flashy icons, but a lot of these changes are really, really nice. They're quality of life stuff that really go unnoticed, but that should basically be it, guys. Like just from the top to the bottom, a lot of, you know, as we know, the balance patch is one of the best balance patch. The balance patch that we've seen is one of the best balance patches we've ever been given, basically, or has ever been produced by EpicSeven. It addresses every character, tries to make them, you know, versatile. Going through the side stories and stuff, like that's cool. Like the changes to World Arena and Draft Mode are great, or like to the Draft Mode and to Brawl are great. Like keep adding stuff to these modes, EpicSeven, because obviously not everyone plays RTA. And then finally, Natalon Monk Nahkwol looks fucking hot, and she's also broken, which I might be very upset about because that's what happened with Lua and Hwayoung, who were very, very hot, but fuck those characters. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I think the patch in general is really exciting. EpicSeven has been doing a lot of really good stuff recently, especially with the EpicSeven World Championship. There's some other drama and stuff going on that I'm not really going to go into because like we haven't heard enough from Smilegate's end. However, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'm really happy with like the content direction of EpicSeven. If you enjoyed today's content, make sure to like, comment, turn the notification bell, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this patch. Nahkwol looks fucking broken, so haha, that's gonna be great. Make sure to check out all my socials or my other platforms if you want help. If you want to look up my infographics, if you're curious about videos, etc., etc. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I'll see you all next time. Adios.